Not to the family, but to Wellspring. "I didn't just lose a marriage," she said. "I lost years of work, money, and myself." The courtroom was dead silent. Kody never looked up. When Robyn stepped up to take the stand, the room seemed to tighten. Of all the wives, she had been the one most often seen as Kody's strongest defender, the one some fans believed would never turn. And yet, there she stood, shoulders back, voice trembling but clear, clutching the velvet ring box like it still burned in her hand. "This wasn't for me," she said softly, lifting the lid. Everyone looked in silence at the ring meant for Serena. Not just a gift, a symbol of a lie made legal. Then came the bombshell. Robyn explained how she discovered her name had been used to witness Kody and Serena's marriage application, but she had never been there, never written a single word. When the lawyers later showed her the digital signature, everything clicked into place. It was pulled directly from a 2021 tax document she had signed online. Kody had accessed it, lifted the file, and used it to forge her name on a state document. That moment changed everything. The courtroom froze as frozen as the forensic analyst confirmed what Robyn now knew. This wasn't an accident. This was deliberate. A faked legal witness. A fraudulent marriage paper trail. It wasn't that Kody had made a mistake. He had committed a calculated deception. Legal intent mattered now, and Kody had used Robyn, not emotionally this time, but legally, to hide his tracks. Robyn's voice broke as she spoke about the moment she found out. She described standing in the truck staring at the marriage license like it was a stranger's life story. She talked about confronting Kody with it days later. His reply, she said, was cold. "You're my legal wife on paper, but Serena is my real future." Cameras in the gallery caught the visible recoiling in the crowd. Even the judge paused, eyes fixed on Robyn like she wasn't just testifying, but surviving right there on the stand. Robyn closed with something devastating. She said the betrayal wasn't just her name being stolen. It was realizing she had been emotionally used for years to hold together a crumbling fiction. One Kody had already replaced before they'd even known it. The marriage with Serena was real, but its foundation was built with stolen names and buried trust. And Robyn wasn't defending him anymore. When Kody finally took the stand, there wasn't an ounce of remorse in his posture. He didn't come in humbled, no bowed head, no soft voice. Instead, he walked up like the star of his own show had just been called to center stage. And for a moment, you could almost see the version of him he wanted the courtroom to believe. The calm, misunderstood, emotionally overwhelmed patriarch. But that version didn't last long. His tone was dismissive. When asked for the forged signature, he shrugged. "I didn't think it would matter." The judge stopped him right there. "Are you admitting you used Robyn Brown's digital signature on a legal marriage license?" Kody leaned in, jaw clenched. "I thought it was harmless." That silence afterward told you everything. It wasn't harmless. It was calculated. And then came the receipts. Actual messages between Kody and Serena where he told her not to worry, that Robyn signs everything, and that they'd be moving money through clean channels. When the prosecution brought up the burner phone tied to secret out-of-state calls and showed a voicemail Kody left, "Delete this after you hear it. I think the judge is sniffing around," the courtroom gasped. Kody's defense lawyer looked like he wanted to disappear. But the hardest blow didn't come from the lawyers. It came from his children. Two of them grown now, independent, strong, took the stand with voices that shook but didn't falter. His daughter said, "He made us feel like mistaken chapters in his life. His son described how their father used to dismiss their mothers as dramatic anytime they cried for more attention. The last moment in that day's session came when his daughter stared directly at Kody and said, "You told us we were a family. You were building a replacement one the entire time." Kody didn't argue. He didn't apologize. He just sat there, arms crossed, staring straight ahead like he still believed control was something he hadn't lost. But everyone in the room could see it, even Kody. The courtroom was so quiet, you could hear jackets shifting, keys rattling, even breathing. No one moved as the judge returned, glasses low on her nose, a thick file gripped tightly. 24 hours of deliberation had passed, but what she carried looked heavier than paperwork. It looked like the end of something that had gone on far too long. Her voice was steady, but not cold. She said, "This court has handled complex cases, but this one was layered beyond legal. This was emotional warfare disguised as family." You could feel the air change in that room. She began reading the findings slowly and clearly. Financial misconduct proven. Forged signature proven. Misuse of shared assets and identity theft substantiated. Emotional and psychological damage real, measurable, and long-standing. She paused, then looked directly at Christine, Janelle, Mary, and Robyn. "You are not broken," she said. "You are survivors. And this manipulation was not spiritual, it was strategic." That wasn't just a legal ruling. That was truth. Then came the hits Kody wasn't ready for. Every account under his name and every LLC connected to the Brown family frozen. His TLC royalties frozen. The fake business Wellspring Inc. flagged for federal investigation. And the biggest blow of all, he was to be remanded into custody pending criminal charges for identity misuse, document falsification, and financial fraud. The judge dropped the gavel and it echoed like a clap of thunder. Kody looked stunned. His lips parted like he might plead, explain, reach for someone. But there was no one left to catch him. Not one wife. Not even Serena stepped forward. A bailiff walked up and put him in handcuffs. Real ones. Not symbolic, not cable TV. Outside, chaos waited. "Proud time," Esther shouted. Fans cried. Headlines went live in real time. But the shot no one could look away from was this. Christine, Janelle, Mary, and Robyn walking out together, shoulder to shoulder. They didn't speak to reporters, they didn't wave, they didn't perform. They just walked through the crowded courthouse steps like women who had fought through years of silence, humiliation, confusion, and finally won. They came in as fractured pieces of a forced narrative. They walked out as the real. It started like so many betrayals do. Not with a confession, not with a fight, but with something quieter. A whisper, a name, one that none of the wives had ever heard before. Serena, a woman who didn't belong to the family, didn't grow up in their community, and didn't share their history, but would soon shatter it entirely. Hi friends, I'm Helena and welcome back to TLC's Sister Wives News. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss anything and tell me in the comments, did you ever expect it to unravel like this? The first shock came in the form of an expense. Christine had been going through the family's shared real estate account. Routine work, nothing unusual, when a single line item made her stomach twist. $7,400 labeled as a wellness retreat. Except no one had planned a retreat. No one had been on one. And when Christine asked Kody about it, his answer was vague, rambling, defensive. She knew something was wrong. Later that night, alone in the soft light of her bedroom, Christine mindlessly scrolled through Instagram to clear her head. And that's when it happened. A photo posted by a yoga studio in Sedona. A woman in a white robe standing close to a man whose profile looked disturbingly familiar. Serena, late 20s, long black hair, striking eyes, and next to her, smiling, was Kody. His arm around her lower back pressed so close, it didn't feel casual, not even slightly. Christine froze. There were more posts. A video only up for a few hours before being deleted showed Kody kissing Serena. Just a glimpse, but she knew what she saw, and it was enough. The trust that had been frayed for years was now officially broken. She didn't scream, she didn't cry. She just quietly put down the phone, packed a few screenshots, and got in her car. This wasn't just betrayal. It was something deeper, more hidden, and Christine knew then she wasn't the only one being lied to. Christine pulled into Janelle's driveway just after 10 o'clock. The night was quiet, but Christine wasn't. She walked in, set her phone on the table, and slid it toward Janelle without saying a word. One by one, the screenshots told a story Janelle couldn't argue with. Kody in Sedona. Kody with Serena. Kody like they'd never seen him before. Not as a husband, but as someone with a whole other life. Janelle stared in silence. She wasn't shocked, not really, just devastated that it had finally reached this point. And Christine, she wasn't angry in the loud way. She was surgical, focused. It was as if the heartbreak had edited itself into something sharper. Clarity. That's when they made the call to Mary. Mary didn't hesitate. She'd noticed the shift in Kody too. Less contact, even less than usual. And we all remember that wasn't much to begin with. But this? Now she had evidence. She told them she'd received a confirmation email days ago for a hotel stay in Sedona. Kody's name was on the room, and so was a second name, Serena Walker. The puzzle was starting to arrange itself, and with each piece, the pain turned colder, more resolved. Then Robyn called. What she brought to the table stunned everyone. She'd found blonde hairs on Kody's jacket, long, definitely not hers. She'd smelled unfamiliar perfume on his clothes and found something far worse in the glove box of his truck. A velvet ring box. Inside, a silver band with an engraving that said, "To my moon forever." The name wasn't addressed, but it no longer needed to be. Whatever lines that had once divided the wives, emotionally, spiritually, even physically, they disappeared in those hours. The sisterhood that Kody had fractured over years of favoritism realigned. Now, not for him, but against what he had done. Divided, they were vulnerable. But together, they were dangerous. By midnight, photos, ban, case statements, and email chains were being saved into shared folders. This was no longer just about personal betrayal. It was financial, it was emotional, and it was accelerating fast. The next morning, they weren't just four women nursing broken hearts. They were plaintiffs in the making. Christine had already made the call. A quiet office near Flagstaff known for handling divorce, estate battles, and legal chaos with frightening precision. Their nickname? The Desert Law Queens. All women, sharp as needles, no patience for charm, and certainly none for manipulation. The group walked in, subdued but united. No crew, no producers, just them. A file box and the truth Kody never thought would come to light. Each wife placed what they had on the conference table. Christine had photos, Janelle had bank statements, Mary had the hotel receipts and old emails, and Robyn brought the ring box and something else. Because what none of them were ready for was what the lawyers uncovered just hours into reviewing the documents. A marriage license filed, legal, between Kody Brown and Serena Walker. Signed, dated, and recognized by the state of Nevada. Witnessed by someone named Robyn Brown. Except Robyn never signed it. She never even saw it. The room went completely silent. One of the attorneys pulled the alleged signature from the license and overlaid it with Robyn's actual documents, from tax returns and TLC contracts to loan paperwork. The forge wasn't careful. It was lazy. Blurred line work, pressure, inconsistency. even a sloppy copy and paste job from a digital file. Robyn's digital identity had been stolen by her own husband. This wasn't just betrayal or infidelity anymore. It was forgery, fraud, identity abuse, possibly criminal. The attorneys laid it out clearly. Kody could have been filtering TLC checks and family funds through fake LLCs linked to Serena. They spotted wires to an account in California, expensive retreats, a down payment on something labeled Serena Wellness and Spiritual Living. And that's when it stopped being about heartbreak. This was theft. This was illegal. And what Kody hadn't counted on, his wives weren't just walking away. They were fighting back. They didn't sneak in. They walked straight through the courthouse front doors, heads high, game faces on, as reporters shouted their names from behind barricades. The story had already exploded. Kody Brown, a once beloved face of a plural marriage empire, was now the center of a national scandal. Camera crews from nearly every network lined the sidewalks. Fans held homemade signs, some supportive, some furious, but the energy was electric. The trial of the decade was starting, and everyone wanted a front row seat. Inside, it was standing room only. Christine arrived first, dressed in a calm navy suit, her expression measured but purposeful. She didn't glance toward Kody, not once. Janelle came right after, files under her arm, cool and businesslike. Mary was composed but sharp, eyes scanning every face in that courtroom like she was searching for truth all over again. Then Robyn called. What she brought to the table stunned everyone. She'd found blonde hairs on Kody's jacket, long, definitely not hers. She'd smelled unfamiliar perfume on his clothes and found something far worse in the glove box of his truck. A velvet ring box, inside a silver band with an engraving that said, "To my moon forever." The name wasn't addressed, but it no longer needed to be. Whatever lines that had once divided the wives emotionally, spiritually, even physically, they disappeared in those hours. The sisterhood that Kody had fractured over years of favoritism realigned, now not for him, but against what he had done. Divided, they were vulnerable, but together, they were dangerous. Christine took the stand first. Her voice was calm, but every word carried weight. She talked about the years of watching trust erode, the night she scrolled through Instagram seeing Kody with Serena, the silence, the lies, the moment she realized their shared life had become a cover for something else. Her tone was steady, but the pain was clear. "He drew on our beliefs to hide his betrayal," she said. And for the first time, the judge leaned in, really listening. Then Janelle stepped up, organized, ready, relentless. She broke down the family's shared business accounts, Coyote Pass, the home loans, the corporate credit cards used for family purchases. One after another, she laid out financial transfers Kody made to businesses connected to Serena. Some accounts had been labeled legacy investments. None of it had documentation. Some were routed through a suspicious LLC called Wellspring Inc. Janelle even presented an email where Kody bluntly told her to log it under wellness so it wouldn't raise tax. That stunned even the courtroom clerk. Then it was Mary's turn. She read from her own emails showing Kody had accessed her personal TLC royalty account and quietly rerouted it.